Today we're going to be talking about our pre-snap read checklist for the run and shoot offense, although it can be applied to other offenses as well. Number 1, the quarterback will always scan the field from left to right. Number 2, check for automatics with the outside receivers. Are the CBs pressed? Are they in cloud? Or are they playing off? An example automatic might be to put a wide receiver on a fade versus press or a hitch versus off coverage. Check for any automatics with the inside receivers. Is anyone uncovered? Check for how the defense adjusts to motion. The classic run and shoot would use motion on almost every play. If you motion to or are in trips, look for any automatics to the trip side or the single receiver side. We went over this in a prior video on our trips halfback weak mini scheme. We want to be looking for if there's an apex defender to the single receiver side and how many defensive backs are aligned over the trip side. Number 6, read the defenders in the box and the front for possible run audible. Versus odd, we like halfback base or read option. Versus ment or 3-3-5 odd, we like outside zone. Versus over, we like trap, halfback base, or outside zone. Versus under, read option, dive, or counter are best. Versus an even front, look at inside zone or a dive. And versus bear, I really like read option, although you could also go again with an outside zone. Adjust blocking to ensure any potential blitzes are picked up. In general, slide blocking to the side you wish to half roll to and double team the end man on the line of scrimmage. We went over this in a previous video. Versus overload blitz, look at plays that roll away from the overload. Number 8, audible if necessary. Otherwise, run the play. Now let's take a look at some coverages and how they normally align to our run and shoot formations. We have Tampa 2 versus gun spread. You'll notice both corners are in cloud alignment. Both safeties are even, and both apexes are slightly inside of the slots. When you come to trips, you'll notice that the inside slot is not covered, and there is an apex to the single wide receiver side. This cover 3 sky, you have both corners in off alignment, one high safety, both apexes are over the slots. And when we go to trips, you're going to notice that, again, there's an apex to the single wide receiver side, and number 3 is uncovered. It is interesting that they do stay in a more of a 2-high look with this generic cover 3 sky and dime. Cover 3 match, this is going to be pretty much the same as cover 3 sky, except those apex defenders and curl flats are going to match anything by number 2 vertical instead of playing a curl flat. And here versus trips, it's going to be the same as 3 sky. Apex to the single wide receiver side and number 3 uncovered to trips. Cover 1 hole is going to look similar again to your 3 sky look when we're in 2x2. But you'll notice in trips that number 3 over there is finally covered. And there is no apex to the single wide receiver side. That's how you can tell them apart. Cover 4 press quarters. You're going to have, in this case, press corners and 2 safeties that are even and both apexes over the slots. When you come to trips, you're going to notice that number 3 is uncovered, but instead of having an apex, you have 2 backers. Cover 4 palms. Both corners are off. Safeties are even. Apex is over the slots. When we go to trips, you're going to see that number 3 is uncovered, but you have 2 backers and no backside apex. Cover 4 drop. Again, we're going to have both safeties even, both corners off, apex is covered. When we go to trips, we're going to see that we have no backer, an apex backside, and the slot is covered. Cover 2 man, we're going to have press outside by the corners, apexes over the slots, and even safeties. When we go to trips, it's going to be the same exact thing. No apex to the left. All the receivers are covered and 2 high safeties. Our old friend cover 0, you're going to notice they have corners off. You have safeties wider than normal and further down than normal, and you're going to notice only 1 apex with 2 backers. Same thing when we go to trips. Bonus time. This right here is cover 3 Buzz. You'll notice it has 2 backers, 1 apex. It always looks like that. And then you also have cover 1 Buzz, which is going to have a similar look to that, except it's going to have 2 apexes covering the slots and 1 backer.